of the guys this year were very excited about the Jamboree, mainly because of what we did last year. You know, we were coming out, we had, no idea what was going to go on. It was all new guys starting pretty much. It was like a fresh team. Not everyone had even ever stepped on a varsity field. And we went out there, played the team who was in the finals last year. We played Goffstown in Jamboree and went out and stopped them and played so well and just had a great game, and everyone was fired up. So I think ever since that day, our mentality around the Jamboree has really switched up, because now guys are excited to go out there, and it's like we get to make a name for ourselves and go out there and hit hard and try and make some noise and make something go on. So if anything, it's more about making waves and just being having excitement for it rather than even playing, because at the end of it doesn't count. We all know that, and so I think guys are really just excited to just have fun.
Run! Here we go! Shoot! Use the sideline! Use the sideline!
You never know what's going to happen when you go out there. You'll get your first game / scrimmage. You never really know what's going to be. But for who we were playing and all the things that went wrong, and then not having a team to play, and then playing Trinity, I think we all really stepped up. We played the game that we needed to play, and kind of got out there like we needed to.
Go three! Go three! Up strong, cover three. Here we go. Awesome! Awesome! Go! Hey! 21!
A little nerve-wracking for everyone, just for first game, first scrimmage. Yeah, so it was it felt normal once the first play happened, just getting ready for it.
Because it's the closest thing to an actual game that we've had in quite some time. So it just makes it a little bit more real. We hope that it hopefully takes a little bit of the edge off for the kids for next week. But it's a dry run for everybody. We were using the headsets as far as how the coaches communicate, the play calls, kind of the how the sideline works, and dealing with equipment and organizing the special teams, and then you have film, and it's pretty good film. We got to play on turf for the first time this preseason, so we're seeing kids that had a little bit of trouble lining up. A lot of teachable moments. So to get a half of as close to game football as possible, get some film, again, great teaching moment for the kids to hopefully correct some stuff so we don't have those same issues a week from now for sure.
Even though it isn't considered a real game, it definitely gives the same aspect, especially with the Jamboree as big as it is, all the different towns that come and play there. That energy you get from the crowd, the energy you get from your coaches, the energy you get from your players cheering you on from the sideline, that's what really gets you into it. That's what motivates you to want to play. necessary. We ever since I've been here, we haven't been much of a substitute team. If you're the best guy in the field, you're playing your position, you're playing it the whole game. But getting the backups reps is definitely really important because there was definitely a lot of stuff that we need to fix as far as that goes. So I mean, and it's also always kind of nice seeing the guys get their first shot. You know, when you kind of been there for the last 4 years and haven't really given anyone else a chance.
This score right here will have the high scoring.
Good, we played how we needed to play, but at the same time, you know, we're on the stealth already. Who cares about the Jamboree? So it's all about moving forward, taking things a week at a time, but as far as looking back on it, we played as well as we ever have.
Obviously, there was like a couple like miss-ups from like everyone, like mess-ups, but like it's good that we have the film to like overcorrect what we can do and just get ready for the game Saturday.
We went out there, did what we had to do, and you know, like I said, not to diss Trinity or anything like that, but we're Division I, they're Division III. It's a different game. So we went out there and played how we had to play. Played aggressive, you know, made stops, rushed as hard as we could, got the end of our bench in there, and I think it went according to plan. And I don't know if we could have played it any better than we did. I mean, obviously there's things you got to improve on in every game. But I think at the end of the day, it's nothing to celebrate and throw parties over. It's just we did what we had to do, and it's time to move on to the regular season.
Communication was actually really good for a situation that was not very good. So we had heard early in the week that there could be an issue and that at any point a team or two could be out and that we were going to have a team to play. We didn't know who it was going to be, and that we would be notified as soon as possible when the decision was made. So as far as the communication, I thought it was great. Again, the situation's not ideal. It's something, again, for a team to look at. Like, we'll play anybody. Like, we'll play anybody at any time. Whether they're on our schedule during the season or not, well, if we got to play twice, we'll play twice. You know, if it's at Gill, you kind of tell the kids that. Whoever we're going to have to play, we'll be ready. And, you know, it's football, and the kids were ready to go. So I don't think there were any issues with it whatsoever. From a preparation standpoint, it gets a little tricky. But some teams going into a scrimmage or a jamboree, they'd like to run base plays on offense, run your base defense, you know, and then don't worry as much about scheme, and then worry a little bit more about can the kids go out there, block, run, tackle, and be aggressive. So it was good. The Jamboree was
more like we need this game because we can't go into the home opener versus South with no with no scrimmage before, and so I was really hoping we had a game, which we did. I wanted us to play a team with a better competition. But it just really showed how a team can really keep everything positive, even though a bunch of negatives are going on.
I think we really just make do with what we have, and that's kind of the theme that's been going on with us since like my freshman year. You know, we had a similar scenario when I was a freshman. Well, not so much all these individual little things, but especially having like a good senior class, have them leave, and then have to reset with you don't know who's playing where. It's kind of been the theme of my entire high school football experience has been all these moving pieces to finally, you know, get to somewhere. And it seems like a million things go wrong, but in the end of the day, like we're always just making do with what we have.
We've handled it well. Myself, I was very stressed out. But I relied on my teammates and myself just to keep everything positive and keep everything straight, which we did a really good job at because our team chemistry is off the charts. We all work together to keep everything positive.
I think we handled it really good for the fact that like the new helmets, like we had to like figure that out. Even the jerseys we had to like figure that out. And then going to the game, like was it going to get canceled with the lightning? who we were gonna play, and then we ended up playing Trinity, and it felt normal for us. Like I think we all had a good game, and just like a good like process to like the season.
I think we dealt with it the way we did, and regardless of who we have for coaching or what jerseys we wear or who we play, I mean, in the end of the day, we're going to get out there and we're going to play.
I think to a certain degree they've handled it well. I think the other part is like the season's coming no matter what, so you better get ready, right? And anything can be used as an excuse, and then you kind of can see through adversity like what does the team do? They're either going to divide, they're going to complain, or they're going to come together and they're going to kind of be together to get over some of the hurdles. And you know, the other part is there's going to be more. There's going to be way more adversity at some point during the year, whether guys go down, there's going to be some situations that we don't necessarily foresee and don't like, and that's just part of football. So hopefully if there's small adversities, you get over those, you kind of figure it out, so when the big ones come, you kind of have a little unity and experience with it.
We give you 5 sets of 5. Listen, you guys have no idea every time something comes on the news, the number 5, I get 5.
Not as much as kind of what it's built up to be, but that's kind of the mentality we keep for all the teams we play, unless it's one of like the big guys like Londonderry, unless it's someone that we personally had a rivalry with while we've been here. So like we definitely hear all the stories like the alumni wanting us to, you know, beat South and blow them out, but from our perspective it's just another game and it's just another must win.
For some it does, and then for some it doesn't. But like for it being at like Nashua, I consider it like a rivalry. So we're gonna play it like a rivalry and just go hard.
It does, and it certainly does for South, and it certainly does when we play North. You know, we've been on the wrong end of some of those games over the last few years that I've been here, and then even before that. It's a big game because it's the first game also, and you really know when you come out game 1, like you have to get off to a good start, and it sets the tone for kind of how your season's going to go. So there is concern there. I do feel like it's a rivalry, but then you also have Merrimack right up the road too. You know, some of these teams we play every year, and then you know however many years in a row was we had to go out to Keene, and that's a hard trip. So there's respect for all the opponents. I think you know there's a lot of really good coaching staffs from all these teams. You know, it's the days of kind of looking at your schedule and thinking, hey, you know, we got an easier week this week, or you know, they're all quality opponents. So it's concerning. We know Nashua's going to be up for it. You know, South's going to be ready to go. So we just hope that we can match that intensity for sure.
It's all about just preparing, learning their scheme, learning just where people are going to be, you know, how to react to it, and that's the most important thing. It isn't about if they have seniors, if they don't have seniors, if they are good, if they're not good. It's just one game at a time, one week at a time.
That's tough because I know, like, I knew a lot of the guys from South last year. A lot of their, you know, better starting players. Like I personally, I mean, I played football with all of them for forever because I'm a Nashua guy myself. So I knew them from having like the Nashua, like the North End, South End kind of rivalry back in childhood. So like, all right, I knew them from that. But I think this year, what's going to be a problem for us is probably their passing, because South is a big pass team. They've got some pretty good plays that we've seen that are some tricky pass schemes to cover.
We're expecting to see a lot of pass, and I'm hopefully expecting to see a lot of sacks from me and my D-line mates. But it's going to be a physical game. We're playing Nashua team, and it's of course a big rivalry, so we could expect anything to happen. They could complete these passes. They could have good blocking up front. I really won't expect anything until the game starts. So.
Sounds good. Stopping their run game and things like that. I mean, we've got a pretty beefy linebacker core, and you know Rocco and Jacob up front. So I think really it's going to be those kind of quick outside passes and all those quick yards like that are going to give us a tough time.
I don't honestly know a whole lot about them. I know that they have a few players coming back off last year's team that were very good. So when you see those guys, you know they're coming back. You know, you want to know where they are on the field. That's going to be probably the biggest thing, trying to point those guys out early. And they have some players. You know, when you think of Nashua teams in general, they're always very tough kids. They're always very physical. You know, we try to tell these kids, like, everybody is going to get up for a BG game. Everybody wants to beat BG, you know, especially those Nashua schools. It's a great feeling to be able to play a meaningful game at Stellos for the first weekend. You know, but as far as what they're going to show, you know, there is going to be a change from last year to this year, as there is with every team. So it's probably going to be a feeling out process early. You know, we're going to try to run the ball like we do and then try to make any adjustments from there. But it's the most unique game because, like you said, there's not a lot of
Something you'll never get once you're done football. Like the feeling pregame is the nervousness, thinking about what you're doing. You're also very not angry, but you're like ready to screw up these kids. And the feelings, it's tons of mixed of emotions, but it's all like good emotions. Like it's such a hard feeling to explain.
And welcome your 2022 Bishop Guertin Football Cardinals.
there's always a little concern as far as how the kids are going to handle the first game. You know, and they have pasta parties leading up to it. Luckily for us, we get the extra day of preparation plan on a Saturday, and it's later in the day, so hopefully they get to sleep in, they get plenty of food, get to hydrate. From a coaching standpoint, you know, you're driving over to the stadium, and you know, you start to kind of think about the off season and the summer and all the build-up. It's really to get to the games. That's why, you know, that's why the kids play. That's why the coaches coach. So there's a lot that goes into it, and you're just really hoping that it goes well. And then, you know, as I continue to coach, you know, you're always trying to wonder, you know, what's going to happen that maybe you're not expecting to see, or you know, whatnot. So trying to be able to adjust on the fly. But overall, it's a good feeling.
You got time, you got time. Go, go, go. Good walk, Matt. Return.
Santa Suazo.
Considering the fact that we didn't really have like a lot of passing touchdowns last year, and then just to have it on the first drive, and then back-to-back passes with Connor just made it huge.
I would say a big thing about what we strive to do when we go into a game is really set the tone early, whether it was on defense or on offense. But you know, scoring on the first drive, it does build a momentum, but also sets the tone for the rest of the game. I think it would have been the same if we were on defense. We would have set the tone and tried to force a 3 and out as fast and best we could.
But for me, it doesn't like that's just one drive and we scored right away. That doesn't satisfy me. There's always a chance of a team coming back, so like I'm still gonna work hard until the end of the fourth quarter. If we're up by 20, I still act like we're down by 20. I'm still gonna work hard, and yeah, the first drive feels amazing for probably the parents and a lot of people, but I know as a team, like we still want to work hard. We're still gonna play like we're down.
I wouldn't say I was shocked, but I was definitely like excited about it. You know, I mean, we're pretty much a running team. We run a lot, and so I mean, I knew we were going to end up running on them, but to have success like that, where you know we just go out and punch them and run it right down the field, is always a really motivating thing to do. And our coach always tells us about it. He's like, our first drive sets the tone of the game. You go out there, and that whoever wins that first drive, you're going to determine the tempo of the game of like who's the king out there. So being able to just like run it down their throats and just keep going, and then having Connor get in the end zone like with a pass too to show that threat it was great. I don't think there was a better way we could open the game.
That was definitely big. Definitely like a momentum pusher, and then also getting the crowd involved, like when they're like hyping, doing the chants, and then just getting us ready for like the next drive on defense to have the energy to stop them.
I think there's a thought process at times from a coaching standpoint of trying to put your best unit on the field. So we knew if we wanted to toss, we wanted to return the kick. We knew we wanted to try to get on offense and score as soon as we could. In those rivalry type games, you want to try to take a lead as fast as you can, and then obviously try not to let the other team back in. So it was really important that we methodically went down the field. And then since I've been here, we've had issues at times getting inside the red zone and actually being able to score, So, trying to make sure from a play call standpoint, like you said, there's no negative plays. The kids played very clean for the most part. No penalties definitely helps. And then trying to manage once you get to a certain spot on the field, you're in kind of 4-down territory. So we know, if we can keep it manageable, we're probably going to go for it on 4th down. So just trying to be as football smart as possible. But getting a lead against a rival is awesome. Great start to a game.
South completion snuffed out there by Connor DeBoer. Screen pass.
And D-line is amazing. We all work together. We have the toughest linebackers in the state and probably the best D-line in the state. And for a team to run against us, it's really hard. We're always there. We're always stopping. And for our linebackers like Dante, he's one of the smartest football players I've ever played with. And using that against other teams for the run game is just, I'm very confident in that versus a lot of other teams we're going to play.
Santa Suazo looking to pass, has to keep it, rolls around right in, moves the chains. And Santa Suazo going right side. Santa Suazo going right after the fake. Touchdown, Cardinal! And there goes Matt Santa Suazo one more time. And you tack on 2 for the 6. 15-0. Cardinals with 3rd down and 3 for the Panthers.
Those short passes are definitely tough, and I mean we talked about that before. Our coach said like that's where they're gonna get us, get into the flats, sending guys down the field and creating that whole diversion and having us like rallying to the flats late. That's like we knew that was gonna be the problem area. But overall, I think really those plays are just hustle plays.
Carter, watch back over here.
Near pass complete to Nathan Smith.
Showed that they're willing to hustle and work hard. Like Connor Gabor, again, he had a day on defense. He had quite a day on defense, and it just showed like he was willing to hustle. And there's a couple other guys, like even Dante too, like they were ready to go and they were ready to move and work hard. So I think our defense that day at the game showed more work rather than sheer talent.
Get with, Dante. Quarterback.
Perez takes off. He's stacked up. Suazo going left. Suazo in the fake hand. Gavin Bombara. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Going for two.
I was definitely impressed with our passing game performance. We have, for the past 4 years that I've been here, we've never been a passing team. Just not something we've been able to do. We haven't had the receivers for it. We haven't had the quarterback for it. But the evolution and like the maturing we've seen on Matt on his throwing game was definitely like crazy, especially this year. You know, coming off like the second, third drive with a passing touchdown, and then that throw to Gavin later down the line. Like, I think definitely the passing game impressed me, and then we were also doing really good with setting the edge, which was definitely a big part of our run game as well.
Oh, Santa Suazo goes right over the guard. Pass broken up by Ethan Levy running right side. And on Labby. Touchdown, Cardinals. Lemire keeps it.
Go down over here. That's it. There you go, Dean. Eyes on him, Connor. Hey! One more, Dean, last one. Let's go, one more.
And Panther fumble. Cardinals fall on it. Cardinals hold on the goal. First.
It definitely felt like a good first game, but also the fact that we could have maybe even improved like by a lot more too, and the fact that our defense like let up one touchdown. But yeah,
So there's a lot to clean up. You know, there was definitely some kids that stood out a ton. Some we were expecting, some were pleasant surprises, and the expectations really high for some of these returners. And I felt like at times watching the film, I was a little disappointed with some of the output. So, you know, we've kind of talked to the kids too. The really good teams make a massive jump from week 1 to week 2. So if we continue to progress, we'll be fine. You know, but we're really going to have to put some pressure on some of these returning starters that they really are going to have to perform, or we're going to get into more of a next man up